All right, we're going to continue with the specialized gear. I know it's been a while, but as they say, life happens. What we're going to do here is I'm going to talk about the patrol leader, the supply guy, then we're going to take a break and get all this out of the way, and then we can talk specifically about the comm guy. That's going to take a little bit longer. When I was doing the pack, one of the first things I showed you was you needed some type of day pack. This is a 3-day, and what this pack is for is you go into the patrol base, you get set up, and eventually each team member is going to get his turn or their turn in the LPOP. So everything they need to take with them on their shift to the LPOP goes in the bag. So water, extra water, food, whatever gear it is they need to take with them, it goes in the bag. It makes it easier for them to transport back and forth. And then in the end, if you need to get the heck out, if you got to run, you can hide your big pack, pack everything you think you need to survive on in your little pack, and then you can run. But you can leave all this excess gear behind and just take what you need to survive with in the small pack, and then you can DD them out. You can get the heck out of there. Okay? So the patrol leader is going to carry all the optics and the stuff that some of the things he needs to set up the LPOP first. As I mentioned, one of the things he's going to have is a tarp. Now this is just what they call them, seal line tarp. It's not, they're not very expensive. I've got aluminum stakes in there, and there's also 550 cord in here to help set it up. Next thing I have that you might need is a laser rangefinder. Now this is not, not high speed, low drag. It's just a regular hunting laser rangefinder. Works well. The next thing we have is a spotting scope and the stand for the spotting scope. All right, and the thing here is, I don't think you need to be staring through your rifle scope the whole time that you're there in position. You need to be able to watch what you're looking at and then be able to get a good view through your spotting scope, or you can purchase binoculars. Now, the stand, I have a pair of binoculars that will hook onto this stand. So if you have a good pair of binoculars and you'd rather use that, because I know some binoculars can be hooked onto a stand like this or a tripod like this, go ahead and do that. And then we have night vision goggles. Okay, and obviously what you're not seeing out here right now is my D-ball, um, the laser with the IR light, but you will see that when the weapons come out. But normally I leave that in the package, and then when I need it, it goes on the weapon. So it stays in the bag until nighttime. Then nighttime comes, I take it out of the bag, it gets attached to the rifle, and you're good to go. So this is what the patrol leader's carrying. And if you're worried about, it doesn't look like it's a lot of weight, and it's not really, but I am carrying the extra water that we may need. Okay, let's move on to the engineer guy. Over here on this side, I have the engineer guy. I have a shovel, right? A saw. And if you really don't want to do that, how about an E-tool? Okay? And if you don't want to carry a large saw, you can always carry a small saw. And also for the engineer guy, I have extra ammunition in these packs. This is 120 rounds, and each one of these packs weighs 3 pounds. So for the engineer guy to carry these things, this is going to be 9 pounds plus whatever it is you decide over here that he needs to carry. All right. And a word of caution here: these are on strips with a loader. Okay, so if you get into this bag for whatever reason, you got these bags, save your strips and save your loaders. Okay, because they can always be reused. So save them, don't throw them away. Before we move on to the comm guy, there's one more thing that's not out here that you may want to consider is rope. Now, I'm not talking about 550 cord. I'm talking about rope, a 50-foot length of rope. Do you need it? I don't know. You might. You might need it in your area. Okay, so as I've said before, and I'll say again, these are just ideas, right? This is not, I'm not telling you what you need. I'm just giving you some ideas to go and look at. All right, so you're going to decide when you're doing your planning for the patrol, for the mission. You're going to decide what it is you think you need to take with you, and that's what everybody's going to carry. But the main thing is you're going to spread load the gear, and regardless of what position you're filling, whether you're the patrol leader with all the optics or you're the supply guy with the shovel, the extra ammo, and the saw, everybody needs a bag, right? Everybody needs a bag in their large pack. That way they can get to the patrol base. They set their large pack down, and then when they're moving around, everything can go in the small bag. And then if you have to run, you have to DD mount, then hey, you leave the large bag behind, put all your essentials in here, everything you need to survive on, hide the large bag as best as you can, and then you can get out the area. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to take all this stuff down and put it away and let my iPhone cool off because, good Lord, it's a freaking scorcher. And then we'll get the comm gear stuff out and we'll go from there. All right, let's talk about the comms guy, also known as the RTO, radio operator, whatever it is you're going to call him. Okay, so we've already talked about the radios here. I have a CB, right? With the mic, you've seen these before. This is for the inter-team comms. Now, does everybody need to have a CB? No, no. You only need two. You need one to go to stay in the base camp where your security is, and you need one at the LPOP. That's really all you need. Next, I have this UV5R. This is a UV5R Pro. We'll talk about that in a minute. Have a nice little whip antenna on there. Okay. Now this is going to talk back to base camp. Now you can use these to talk back and forth in the team, but you got to make sure it's on low power and all that kind of good stuff. So you can use these for team communication. Not a big deal. Finally, I have the big boy here. Right, this is a 10-watt radio with a whip, and let me get my hands fixed here. I have a dog bone for it. Okay, so this is a 10-watt. The one I showed you earlier is an 8-watt. So your choices are kind of unlimited to get what it is you want. The one thing I'm going to suggest is you make sure that you get extra batteries. This one's for the one type of ham radio, and this, of course, is for the 10-watt ham radio. Okay, but the main thing about these and the CB is that they're all rechargeable using these cables. Okay, so I'm going to bring these batteries. The comm guy's going to have extra batteries for the radios, and he's also going to bring the cables to recharge batteries as needed. So in this case, the radio, or excuse me, the battery on the radio starts to get weak or starts to die. I can take that battery off, put this battery on it, and then using the cable and this anchor battery. Now, I know they're not all called anchor batteries. That's what I'll call them. I can recharge the batteries that were low and weak. Same thing with the CB. I can recharge this CB using this battery because I made sure that this CB had that function available. Okay, so that's something you want to check out. Also, for the comm guy is a small foldable solar charger, solar panel. Okay, he's going to carry that. So at this point, I want to say this doesn't look like a lot of gear, but it adds up real quick. The weight does. So have some mercy on your radio operator, your RTO, and don't make him carry a bunch of stuff, because all this stuff put together starts to add up. So like I was saying earlier with the CB or the FRS, whatever you're going to use for inter-team comms, not everybody needs to have a ham radio. You can let the RTO go with this, and he's the only one talking to base camp, right? Or if the team leader wants to carry his own radio, then that's fine too. But not everybody needs to have one of these. You just need to be able to talk back to home base, okay? All this other stuff here is for extending your reach with your antenna. So in this case, I have an antenna hooked to this cable. And what this allows me to do, this is a 25-foot cable, if I'm not mistaken. I can take this whip off, attach this cable and antenna, and then I can treetop this antenna. The radio will be on the ground, and then I can treetop the antenna. Well, how do you treetop an antenna? You're going to need this. This is 25 feet of 550 cord, and it has a lead weight, a sinker weight that I purchased at Walmart. And you throw this over the limb, and then the very end of the cable, or the very end of the 550 cord, you want to tie it to your antenna. That way you can pull your antenna up in the air, and that helps you get some extra distance. And we have a couple other things here too. I have some wire. Okay, doesn't really matter what kind of wire you buy. This is wire, automobile wire, right? And then I have this nice little connector. Now what this nice little connector does is it allows me to build a field expanded antenna if I need to. For whatever reason, comms is not working. I've tried my whip. I've treetopped my antenna. That's not working. Now I can build a field expanded antenna, and using this connector, I can connect the field expedient antenna to my radio. Okay, now I'm not really going to talk about field expedient antennas. I'm going to link to one in the description, a video of it, because this guy does a pretty good job, and he knows way more about it than I do. So that link will be in the description. Also in the description is going to be a link to everything I showed you here. The CB, the radios, all the gear, and not that big of a deal. I bought this, I bought the solar panel at Harbor Freight, got the Anchor battery at Office Max. The wire I got from Walmart. Believe it or not, I got the 550 cord and the sinker at Walmart. And all this radio gear here, I got from either I bought it on Amazon, or I got it at Bush Beaters or BSI. But don't worry, I'll link to all this stuff. The main thing you want to know here is you need to train with your radios, or at least, what's the best way to put it? You need to figure out your radios, right? You need to figure them out. And that way, when you get into the field, whoever's going to be the RTO, they know what to do. They know to go from one step to the next. To whip antenna first, trying to talk back to base or home. If that's not working, we can always treetop an antenna using this cable. And then if that's not working, we can use the wire that the comm guy has with him, the radio operator has with him, to build a field expedient antenna. We have a battery to recharge radio batteries, and we have a small solar panel to recharge the battery. Okay. Now, what I would say here is that if you're preparing for the worst to happen, this is something you need to decide on before it happens, right? You need to decide on it before it happens, what kind of radios you're going to get. I have various radios. Um, so it's really up to you what you want to purchase, as long as you have it, right? You don't want to be scrounging at the last minute to get this kind of stuff. Same thing with the optics, whatever optics you want to have that are specialty items, you want to have them and make them available before you actually have to have them. Okay, there you go. That's all the special equipment for the 3 different members of our triad: the patrol leader, the supply guy, and then the radio operator. I hope you have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.